need to be careful how I say this because I don't want this to get banned. But I took the lid off and I popped the lipstick up my back door. And then I twisted it just a little bit, just to get a little, you know. I used to be married to a walking, talking red flag, but don't worry, that divorce finalised about 5 years ago. Now, I don't know how to explain how I knew, but I always had this feeling about someone that he worked with, this woman that he worked with. It was actually his assistant. She just messaged too much. She phoned too much. She was in contact far too much after hours. There was absolutely no need. And as much as he said it's just business, I knew that it wasn't. And ladies, if you get that feeling, listen to it, because men got muscle, but we got instinct. And we need to listen to our instinct. So one day we're in the car, and as he brakes, a gold Chanel lipstick rolls out from under my seat. And I need to explain the colour to you because it is not a colour that I would ever wear. It's a colour that you'd remember from the late 90s, early 2000s. You know, that real pale, pasty pink. So obviously I confront him. He tells me it's mine. This colour that I would never wear, which kind of reminds me of like a real pale pink plaster that you'd paste onto the wall. Now, obviously I knew that wasn't mine, but I didn't say anything. I let it lie because I needed to gather some more information. Even though I knew whose it was. I knew it was hers. And he could have just said that. He could have just said we went to a work lunch and maybe she left it in the car. But the fact that he lied told me everything I needed to know. So I needed to dig for some more information. Unfortunately, he covered his tracks well, and I didn't find more information. Fast forward a few months. I had a birthday party that I threw myself, because let's not get confused and think that my husband threw me a birthday party. He didn't. He never did. But he did take it upon himself to invite his assistant. And she turned up on her own, and they spent most of the party together. But I had an idea. I had a really fucking genius, but disgusting idea, and I'm going to tell you what it was. But obviously I needed to find out for sure if this lipstick did belong to her, even though my instinct was screaming at me that it did. I already knew that it did, but I needed to find out for sure. So rather than just go get the lipstick and say, hey, is this yours? I did something else. I went up to my room, retrieved the lipstick, and as gross as this is, I'm so fucking proud of it, and I would do it again and again. I need to be careful how I say this because I don't want this to get banned. But I took the lid off and I popped the lipstick up my back door. And then I twisted it just a little bit, just to get a little, you know. Oh, it's a very hot day, isn't it? So then I took the lipstick out, put the lid back on, and went downstairs. Now, as I say, my husband and his assistant spent most of my birthday together, so I had to wait for that 10% of the party when they weren't together, whether he was getting a drink or going to the toilet. And on one of these occasions, she went and found another woman to talk to. So I went over to both of the women and I said, ladies, I've just found this lipstick in my alleyway. I think it belongs to somebody here. I think they've dropped it on their way in. And without thinking, kind of like a knee-jerk reaction, which is exactly what I expected from her, she said, oh, that's mine. So I handed it over. And she popped it into her bag. And I won't lie, I spent the rest of my birthday party watching eagerly. So the next time my husband left her, drink, toilet, whatever he did, she needed something to do. She got the lipstick out of her bag and she applied it. My husband brought his mistress to my birthday party and she quite physically kissed my ass.